Hi, you're listening to What the FFF, a show inspired by the FabFitFun Community where we sit down with experts from our team, brand founders, and other fun guests to talk all things beauty, fashion, fitness, wellness, and home. My name is Amanda, and I'm the manager of merchandising strategy here at FabFitFun. Today, we have the founder of BeautyStat's joining us, who is going to talk all about his award-winning vitamin C product that is featured in this year's summer box. Reminder, if you want to see the products we're talking about, be sure to tune into our YouTube channel. And if you're not a FabFitFun member yet, stick around till the end of the video, and we'll have a code for you to join. Let's get into it. Hi, Ron. I'm so excited to chat to you today. BeautyStat is brand new to FabFitFun, and your Universal C Skin Refiner is the product you're known for.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited that it's in the summer box. I'm excited to learn about the innovation behind it, as well as your founder story.
Amazing. I'm so happy to be here and share more about how I created this bestseller here.
Yeah, definitely. So I want to start by going to kind of the beginning of the brand. So you have a very extensive and impressive career in the skincare industry prior to starting your own brand, working at some of the biggest brands like Revlon or L'Oreal. So can you tell us about your career as a cosmetic chemist and how you pivoted to starting your own brand?
Yeah, it's a great question. They call me the accidental cosmetic chemist because it wasn't my plan.
Okay.
It's something I fell into.
Amazing.
So my family was very old school in that they felt their kids should either be doctors or lawyers.
Okay.
So I did better in sciences and I didn't know what I wanted to do. So my parents said, why don't you go to medical school, become a doctor, get a respected profession. Mm-hmm. And of course I didn't know what else to do. So I tried it. I went to med school, dropped out after 1 year and really disappointed my parents.
Okay.
So they were like, okay, you're moving back in with us, get a job. So I sent out a bunch of resumes and Clinique called me in for an interview and hired me on the spot. So that's how I fell into the industry as a cosmetic chemist for Clinique 34 years ago.
Wow. And that was working at their lab?
At their labs, yes. So I developed some of the best-selling products for that brand back in the early 90s.
That's incredible. And did you have passion for cosmetics, or did you kind of take it on and then find passion at the job?
I think what I loved about it is that I had the ability to use my science background and experience, because I always did well in sciences, but I love the creativity aspect of it and the blending of the two, like researching and actually creating new and exciting products. And that I fell in love. That was love at first sight. And that's how I started my career in the industry.
Wow, that really worked out. So obviously 35 years ago, the formulations, the ingredients had changed a lot, I'm sure, over the course of your career. How did you find those transitions through time?
Yeah, so one thing is that vitamin C was always one of the ingredients that I loved working with. And this kind of segues into how this came about. So working for a lot of big companies, always worked with vitamin C, but it was notoriously unstable.
Right.
And the goal was, how could we stabilize pure vitamin C? So I worked on this at many of the brands that I worked for. But it wasn't until when I started my own company that I said, you know what, I'm going to focus on solving this holy grail and stabilizing pure vitamin C. So after 5 years of research, multiple patents, this formula came to life with independent clinical testing that results were fantastic. And that's what prompted me to launch my own brand, BeautyStat, with this best-selling vitamin C serum.
Right. So you recognized kind of the gap in the marketplace and decided to research out of passion.
Yeah.
And then once you developed a really great formula, you wanted to launch it.
Absolutely. And it was clear. It wasn't my plan to start a brand. It's just the fact that this was the holy grail. If we could stabilize pure vitamin C and answer the need in the marketplace of, why is vitamin C unstable? Why does it oxidize? Why do you have to toss out your vitamin C product? That was a real pain point. And I felt that if I could solve that, and I did after a lot of work, was able to bring this product to life and now meet the needs and delight so many consumers across the country.
Absolutely. And as a consumer myself, could you explain what does it mean for vitamin C to be unstable in our products? Like, how do we recognize it? Why does it oxidize and others don't? Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. So vitamin C, it's a very finicky ingredient, and oxygen, air, or light is what makes it unstable. Basically, in the presence of those environments, it oxidizes, which means it starts to turn brown, turn orange, and start to smell like hot dog water.
Oh, that's not good.
so not cute. You don't want hot dog water on your face.
Absolutely not.
And that's your cue that your vitamin C serum is no longer going to be working for you. So what we did here is we created this encapsulation process where we kind of encapsulate the vitamin C so it stays pure and potent and doesn't activate until it's applied to the skin. So this product has a 3 to 5 year shelf life. It's rock stable. And again, the consumer doesn't have to worry, hey, is this vitamin C serum going to oxidize or turn brown? Is it still going to be working for me? And the answer is yes. It works. It delivers results. It's powerful. It's no joke, but it delivers results.
That's amazing. So I imagine kind of the 2 decades of experience in the industry really kind of prepared you for this moment. What was it like researching this for 5 years with some of the other collaborators?
Yeah, I think, what it was like is that I didn't know where it would go. So it's not like I felt like, I'm going to solve this and then I'm going to, be able to start this brand. It was, I had a day job.
Yeah.
And this was my night gig of trying to, see if I could actually do this. And again, it was many years. It was a lot of iterations, a lot of different formulas, we had to do before we actually got to this final formula, which is, this is our home run, our bestseller.
Yeah. And before you launched the brand, BeautyStat was actually a blog, right? You wanted to kind of help consumers understand ingredients.
Yes. And that's where the inspiration came to try to solve this problem, because consumers that read our blog were asking me, hey, Ron, what's the deal with vitamin C? Why is it unstable? How do I shop it? And beauty editors would also come to me and say, Ron, what can a consumer do to better shop vitamin C? And this is what prompted me to embark on this huge challenge of my life in trying to solve this problem.
Wow, how satisfying to solve this industry-wide problem.
Definitely.
That's really amazing. So the product has since been, it has won many awards. It has been patented, as you mentioned. What are the benefits of using vitamin C in our skincare routines? Yeah,
3 big benefits. So vitamin C, it's a powerful antioxidant. So it's going to work to protect your skin from free radicals. 2, it works to help stimulate collagen. That's why it could reduce the look of fine lines and wrinkles. 3rd thing, it prevents the overproduction of melanin, which helps to even out skin tone and fade hyperpigmentation. So those are the 3 big things. Vitamin C is essential. You have to either ingest it or apply it to get the benefits. So we've been able to do that with this topical vitamin C serum.
Great. And how would you recommend for, everybody to use it? I've heard this, I'm not sure if it's a myth, that vitamin C should be only used in the morning. Is that true?
It can be. It can be used morning or night.
Okay.
The reason why it's better in the morning is because vitamin C, especially in combination with sunscreen, provides a synergistic protection against UV. And that's why morning is always best. But nighttime is great too. You could get the benefit before you sleep as well. And all of those things I mentioned, firming the skin, reducing fine lines, evening out skin tone and hyperpigmentation. You can get that AM and PM. Okay,
that sounds great. And I do hear a lot that we need to use sunscreen. Well, in general, sunscreen is important.
Yes.
But especially in tandem with vitamin C, it sounds like it produces better results.
It does. It definitely does. So definitely a recommendation. Dermatologists and beauty professionals agree. Use vitamin C in combination with your sunscreen to really get synergistic protection, really comprehensive protection against sun and UV.
Right. And you mentioned that the product is really potent. So would you recommend consumers trying, every other day, starting slow, or are we good to go every day?
Start slow, especially if you're a newbie. If you've never used any type of acid or really intense treatment, start slow, follow immediately with moisturizer, and then build up from there.
Okay, great. So this was the first product in your line, but now the line has expanded.
It has.
So what other products would you recommend to use with the vitamin C serum to really see the best results in your skincare?
What's underrated in skincare today is cleansing. That's your first step. You want to make sure that you cleanse the skin of dirt, oil, debris, so that all the products that follow can really touch the skin and really get there. So that's one thing we have. We have a great cleanser. So then you after you cleanse, you want to go in with your vitamin C serum. Then we have a great moisturizer and then sunscreen. And that's your AM routine.
That's a really great routine. And it sounds like, there's this notion of less is more. And it sounds like you do subscribe to that.
I do.
A good 5-6 steps seems like what you recommend.
I do. You could even do it in 3.
Okay, you can do it in 3.
I like that. I feel like that's something that I can do. Yes. I think I get overwhelmed with the 10-step, 11-step, I don't know. So having a 3-step seems really manageable.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely, you want to have a routine that you can sustain.
For sure.
Throughout time.
Yeah, you want to stick to it.
You want to stick to it. Are there any new products that you're looking to launch? Are you expanding the brand?
Yeah, we are. So always working on new. And that's my job, is to research and discover new. So we have extensions and new products coming that contain vitamin C plus others. So we're excited to reveal those soon.
Yeah.
And then we have some new innovations in moisturization and hydration that are coming out in Q3. So excited to share that as well.
That's amazing. I think it's very, very unique for a beauty brand to, be founded by a cosmetic chemist. You never really see that.
You don't. And, fortunately, it's really resonated with the consumers.
Yeah.
They realize that, hey, the cosmetic chemist is actually the one that's putting the products together, that's mixing and creating the products and knows, who knows better about the ingredients in a formula than the cosmetic chemist.
Right.
So I think, that's really resonated, and we're really, really fortunate to be benefiting from that attention that we're getting about being this cosmetic chemist founded brand.
Yeah, definitely. There's actually science behind it that you know about, not only the people you work with, but you are the experts in the science, which I think is amazing. What was it like, clinically trialing the product? What is that process like?
Yeah, it's an expensive process. So, and again, this is before I launched the brand. So I actually funded the clinical testing from my savings. It was a big risk. I didn't know whether or not this product would actually deliver results or not. I felt in my gut it would, but it was still a big risk and a big financial risk. And it was one of the best decisions I ever made.
That's great. It all worked out.
It all worked out.
You bet on yourself, and it worked out.
Right.
You just mentioned funding. So I know one of the investors in your brand is Hailey Beaver. And the beginning of your kind of working relationship is really interesting. Can you share that with our listeners?
Yeah. So Hailey loves skincare and beauty. And, she was looking at creating her own brand, and she wanted to align herself with other experts in the industry. So she discovered me. She's seen me in the press. She's tried our vitamin C serum. She called it her holy grail product, which was amazing.
Great ambassador to have.
Absolutely. And she approached me and said, Ron, I'm looking at, I love your products, but I'm looking at developing my own line. Will you join me and help me creating and building my vision? And who says no to Hailey Beaver?
Nobody.
Right. So I was on board, and it's thrilling to be able to support and be part of growing her brand and her having support of mine.
Yeah, you definitely got to pick up that phone call.
Yes.
when it rings. But I feel like it's a further testament to, your background. You've not only contributed to other amazing brands, but founded your own. I think that's an amazing resume to have. So given that you are the expert, I wanted to ask you some questions about skincare trends that are, out there in the marketplace. We're always hearing new things to do. So I just wanted to get your take on some of those.
Sure.
Okay, firstly, we talked about SPF. So SPF in makeup. I have heard that, it's not enough. We need an SPF product and then makeup versus, just having SPF in your foundation. Do you agree with that?
No, I think getting it wherever you can is better than nothing at all.
Okay.
So if you are going to wear your makeup product that has SPF and that's where you're going to get your sunscreen, by all means, do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. That's good. That's good to know, because I get sometimes worried, if I had forgotten that step, but I still have some protection.
Right. Yeah. Very key.
How often should you reapply?
Yeah, great question. So with makeup, usually consumers don't reapply their makeup, throughout the day. But if you're out perspiring, working out, outdoors, then you want to make sure that you're reapplying. But if you're casually indoors, in and out, then you're fine with one application. Just make sure it's at least a teaspoon, enough to cover your full face and neck.
A teaspoon. Okay, I think I do less than that.
A teaspoon.
Yep.
A real layer.
A real layer,
to
yes.
protect us.
Yeah.
And then in terms of cleansing, you have mentioned cleansing. We've been hearing a lot about double cleansing. What's your take on that?
Double cleansing's totally fine. If you're wearing long wear makeup, waterproof makeup, you're going to need an oil-based cleanser to get the makeup off, and then you're going to need a foaming-based cleanser or surfactant-based cleanser to remove the rest. So totally, by all means. By all means,
to clear the skin.
Yes, absolutely.
Amazing. We're getting a lot of tips here. Yeah. What about red light therapy? We see people laying with a red light mask. Yep. At night in bed and looking like Transformers. Would you advise to invest in one of those, or is it kind of a fad?
I think it's interesting technology. I think, the theory is that these rays or wavelengths, can help heal the skin, perhaps stimulate collagen, maybe even heal acne. So I think it really depends. I think, the more research can be done. Some brands have some pretty good quality, and it's really up to about the usage and just following the proper usage instructions. You could also use a topical product along with the device as well. So, there's a lot of factors that involved, but I think it sounds promising. So if you're seeing benefits, by all means, go ahead.
Okay, great.
Red light away.
Okay, great. That's something to try. Yeah. The next one is one I subscribe to, but I don't know if it's actually effective, is sleeping on silk to prevent wrinkles. I've heard that the way you sleep, sleeping on your stomach, sleeping on your face, the pillowcase you sleep on, really affects, mostly, I guess, preventing wrinkles, but also perhaps breakouts, spreading, etc. Is that correct?
I think more research needs to be done on whether or not it's whether this is really gimmicky or is there any like substance to it. I'm on the fence. I don't think I'm going to my silk pillow to help treat my skincare concerns. Yeah. I'm gonna look elsewhere first.
Definitely, the skincare is first and foremost.
That's right.
But I'm sure the pillowcase never hurts.
It doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt, and it does feel nice in general.
Yeah, if it feels nice, yeah. By all means, go for it.
I also wanted to ask you about kind of all the sometimes prescription grade ingredients. So there is a lot right now about retinol, tretinoin. I just had a friend this weekend asking me, should I use these products? Are they too harsh? Will they help with my skin texture? I was like, I actually have an expert this week that I can ask these questions. So, what's your take? They are very harsh ingredients. So what's your take on using those ingredients?
Yeah, I think the dermatologists agree that if you're going to start one of the retinoids, there's a procedure to adapt to it. There's an adaptation process where you could start using it slowly. You could cycle it, meaning you use it one day, you skip a few, then go back to it, and then you follow with moisturizer. Sometimes you could cushion it. You could put your moisturizer on first, put this on top. This way it's more a subtle, more of an easy way of dipping your toe into using products like that. I think there's a lot of great data showing results. Yeah. But again, it can be irritating if you go in too fast.
Right. I'm personally really afraid of the concept of purging, kind of all the breakouts coming in before they have to go away. Yeah. Is that, a real thing? Yeah,
I don't think you need to, I don't think you need to, there's no, clogging your pores in order to get things out. I don't think there's anything there. I think there are other ways you can treat your skin that you don't have to go through any of the downtime of having these big breakouts. Yeah. Right.
Okay, great. I might want to try, but definitely want to layer with moisturizer and a lot of moisturizing products.
For sure.
That's great to know.
And is it true that you need a sunscreen is really important when you're using tretinoin?
Always. Sunscreen's important anytime. So especially if you're going to be using a retinoid, for sure. Again, that's the cell turnover. Your skin is a little more sensitive because of the flaking and the cell turnover. So yes, you always want to wear sunscreen.
Great. Next up, there's this concept of Sephora Kids. So we see a lot of kids right now around Sephora, which is great. I loved makeup and skincare growing up. I was a dancer, so I was applying lots of makeup as well, but more so like the tween, teen-friendly makeup. I did not have an extensive skincare routine. And a lot of our members are moms.
Yep.
And I'm curious if you think, these types of extensive skincare routines can be harmful when used on really young skin.
I really love this trend for one reason. It's really getting young folks into skincare at an early age, which is great.
Okay, great.
But keep it simple.
Right.
2 things. You just need a good cleanser and sunscreen.
Okay.
Maybe a moisturizer as well. But that's it. I don't think kids need to be going into harsh acids or aggressive products. Their skin has so much collagen right now. I mean, they have the most collagen of their life. They're prepubescent, so they don't have wrinkles or acne or oily skin. So why go in and try to exfoliate it and do all of these harsh things to it?
Yeah.
Protect it, care for it, protect it, care for it, and then that's all you need at that age.
Yeah, definitely keep it simple.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very appealing to do the long routine for the fun of it. But I feel like if you start too young, then that's not great.
It's going to damage your skin.
It's going to damage your skin.
Yeah.
Okay, so with all these trends, I'm just dying to know, what is your skincare routine? Can you talk us through your AM and PM skincare routine?
Definitely. So it's cleansing, as I mentioned. It's very underrated. Make sure you start with clean skin, vitamin C serum and moisturizer, then sunscreen. That's my AM routine.
Okay.
And then PM, it's the same thing without the sunscreen. So cleanse, vitamin C serum, and moisturizer.
What do you think about eye cream? Because I've heard that's the same thing as a moisturizer. You don't really need an eye cream.
Yeah, the eye area is different from the area around our face. It's more susceptible to damage. It's thinner skinned. So you don't want to use a harsher ingredient or product around the eye area the same one that you're using on your face. So you want to be gentle around that eye area. And the eye area has unique concerns that other parts of our face do not. Dark circles, puffiness. So those are things that you want a specialist product like an eye cream to help treat.
Great. And I know you, you share with your followers on social media a lot of your knowledge, a lot of your expertise, also a lot about your healthy lifestyle. I'm very inspired by all the healthy habits. How important do you think it is to have those healthy habits in order for our skin to also be great? So kind of from the inside out, treating our skin and body.
So important. When you think about, our skin, it's just one way to help treat, what's going on. I think, we look at it holistically. I look at it holistically in terms of getting enough sleep, managing my stress, eating well, exercising. Those are really key things that are going to make me happier and less stressed and less showing that stress on my skin. So it all matters. And I think more consumers can really, as I said, take a more holistic approach to improving their skin and their life.
Absolutely. And, it has been a few years since you started the brand. What have you learned about that process? Or is there any advice you would give somebody who's looking to pivot their life, whether that be in, starting their own brand or just in general, changing their habits?
Yeah, the big thing I recommend, especially to other beauty entrepreneurs that I encounter, is, a lot of them have great ideas, but you want to make sure that you have tested your ideas objectively with folks that could really give you honest feedback, because you don't want to go down the road of an expense of, starting something that it turns out it's not very unique and not very interesting. So that's my advice, is to do your research, get data, and really confirm that you have a strong, compelling idea before you go and start pouring your time and money into it.
Yeah, and I think that's why BeautyStat's really going to resonate with our consumers, because we really focus on our consumer data as well.
Yeah.
And because we're a subscription, we're a membership, we get a lot of information regarding our members' skin concerns and hair concerns, and we try and tap into exactly that and provide the products and ingredients that they're looking for. And vitamin C is one of them. So I feel like the data-driven business model is something we align on.
It's so important.
Yeah,
it really is.
It's so important to connect with that community.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there one, habit or skincare trend you would never subscribe to? Is there something you would say, do not ever do this?
Yeah, I think that, we talk about double cleansing. I think double moisturizing.
Okay.
And that's the idea of just globbing tons of moisturizer.
Yeah.
There's so many great moisturizers out there, whether they're lightweight or heavy and rich. So I think just pick one.
I see.
Just pick one.
Yeah, that's great. For me, I have oily skin, so I'm one of those people who's very terrified of over moisturizing, which makes me wonder for everybody, you know, with different skin types, like oily, combination, dry, should they use vitamin C in different ways, or
everyone can use it, no matter the skin type. And what's great about it is that you could follow, you know, our vitamin C serum with any moisturizer of your type, you know, of your choice. Depending on whether your skin's oily, you go with a lightweight one, and if your skin's dry, you go with a heavyweight moisturizer. But this is a staple and should be in your routine.
That's something that's, you know, good to know for our members, that any skin type can be really used with the product.
Yes.
Is there any kind of habits or practices you've learned as an entrepreneur that you know, you would give advice to our members on?
Yeah, well, we talked about fitness and kind of my routine. Walking. That's one of the things that I love doing, and it really started, you know, after the pandemic of you know, how do I get outside and connect with nature and actually do something that's actually, you know, physically beneficial to me as well.
Yeah.
I do my thinking, and my creativity comes while I'm walking. So it's one of those things that I recommend that everyone takes part in, you know, doing, and connecting with nature, getting outside, and of course wearing your sunscreen too while you're at it.
I feel like in 2020, a lot of us started walking.
Yes.
And then once we got back to the office and to work, we've all forgotten about walking. I've heard you say that you wake up at 4:30 a.m. to make all these things happen. Is that right?
I do.
Do we all need to wake up at 4:30?
I just happen to love the early mornings. It's the time where I feel like I'm getting ahead of everyone.
You definitely are.
Because I am. And it's kind of my time that I really get to savor, and I really enjoy it. I wake up early, I go to the gym and work out early, and then I'm ready for the day, because God knows what's happening for the rest of the day. You know,
God knows what's happening. Yeah. So you founded the brand on your own. You know, is there a team now that you work with?
There's a team. You have a team of 11 people working on the brand, and they are passionate and devoted, and we are just so excited about the future ahead for BeautyStat.
Definitely. And it seems like you've really kind of listened to your consumers and what they're saying in terms of developing new products and finding other gaps in the marketplace.
Definitely. It's all about the data, as we talked about, and really listening to the consumer, and then coming, offering her products that not only just meet her expectations, but really surpass and delight.
Right. And are approachable at the same time, because as you mentioned, this is such a highly researched and an amazing product, but at the same time, it can be used with 2 or 3 other skincare products to really deliver results. And that is like an approachable skincare routine.
For sure.
It doesn't seem intimidating.
For sure. Because we understand that consumers, they're not necessarily loyal to a full routine.
Right.
They want to use the best of this brand and the best of that brand, and then create their own regimen. So we totally understand that and respect that. And, we feel we want to offer the best vitamin C serum they can get.
Yeah, and that's something they can definitely do through our box, is discover the product and then fall in love with it.
For sure.
Which is great. It was so much fun chatting to you
Likewise,
today.
This was a delight. Thank you.
Amazing. So to all of our listeners, where can they follow you? Where can they follow the brand to keep up with all your expertise?
Yeah, follow the brand at BeautyStat on social, and then follow me, Ron Robinson, Cosmetic Chemist.
Amazing. Again, such a nice conversation. Thank you for taking the time to come.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm excited for everybody to try the product. Thank you for tuning in. The code I mentioned at the beginning of the video is summertime. Let us know what other topics you'd like us to cover on the podcast by connecting with us on socials at FabFitFun. See you next time.